早安，兰兰，早安。我们等一下才会开始，就12点，十二点会跟 Tord 做一个连线。太扯，还好吧？会很扯吗？我还有跟那个 Andre Scubal，就是世界冠军有访谈，只是那个访谈现在还没上片，我还没上片，可以给大家瞄一眼。那个影片的
I don't
毛
think there's
片在
much.
这里。
Yeah. I mean, yeah. You cannot win with a shit deck, I guess. Sometimes you can, but mostly not.
对吧、喂，嗯，有点担心，等一下 DC 跟 OBS 只有一边会有声音。 嗯，有点担心，等一下会抢声音。喂喂喂喂，喂，对啊，你们现在听得到吗？应该可以吧？对啊，我现在是 Discord 好像没有视讯，对啊，好像镜头会抢，是不是啊？镜头会抢。
I've got some cool for this sort of content. In this video, I'm going to be showing you how you can install. So we're going to be using OBS Virtual Cam for this. I will link this plugin below. I've done a more
其实这不是一个采访，这不是一个采访，这是一个赛前讨论。
Detailed video on how you can install OBS Studio. Running 2 versions of OBS Studio, say for example, running OBS Portable. So get this OBS virtual cam installed. As part of the installation process of this particular plugin, you'll be asked, it's best just go create 4 like cam, and we'll get into like more than one available, which we'll check out in just a scene. I'm just going to add here a Windows capture device into this scene. Don't mind the aspect ratio. This is actually, I've got this my C920 camera here. I might just change this to a custom 1920 by 10. Problem really is here. We can see it's still open in OBS Studio, and it doesn't have to be Discord. We're just talking about the use of a single cam across multiple applications from. It's not going to let me turn this camera on. So if I just turn the camera, but because it's already in use, it's unauthorized to use it in a second application like Discord or like Zoom or something like that. I'm just going to turn it off for a second, and I'm just going to get rid of Discord for a second. So now what we're going to do instead is on this camera source. Now obviously this is working fine in OBS Studio now. You can see that this camera's fine. I'm now going to right click, and we've got filters, and we now have some filters available on this called a virtual camera. So if I click this and add the filter onto this camera, we now have.
哦，原来是这样。
Of the target cameras available, and these are the 4 different camera options that we talked about earlier. So we've created, these are essentially camera sources inside of Windows generated from a plugin from OBS Studio. Now the thing is, there's no actual target data within any of these sources yet, which is why we're creating this target now. Don't worry if it sounds a little bit complicated, it's pretty straightforward. So we'll just delete this for now to go through the process again. So to go through the process simply once more again, we right click, we go on filters onto the camera that we want to create a copy of in, let's say Discord or Zoom, and then we click on the plus icon. We want to have a virtual cam. We can give it a name if we want, and now we're going to choose a target camera. Now because I've already got this camera here set up as a virtual camera elsewhere, I'm going to set this to target to OBS camera 4 just to make sure that I'm not conflicting the cameras somehow. Now there are some other things we can do here, delay frames, some other settings. I'm going to leave all the settings exactly as they are, but you're welcome to have a play around with those. Don't forget to click start output, and unfortunately you will have to click start.
好诶，有了，搞老半天，终于搞定了。好，对，算成功了。我先去抽个烟，等我那个，我写在频道上了。
Output this camera, but demonstrate it inside OBS if what it's for, which is essentially
啊。嗯，喂，测试一下。好，哦，好紧张哦，好怕会出错。我说的出错是指那个播的状况不太好，因为同时使用 OBS 跟 Discord，我印象中蛮容易出问题的。嗯，哦，好像要来了。Almost ready，他也是迟到王哎。嗯，哦，洛奇亚内战后手，好，没问题。我其实已经有想好一些洛奇亚的问题可以问了。洛奇亚的问题就是洛奇亚自己的东西。哎，例如他没有放 V 防守能量，你们应该知道啊。我觉得没有放 V 防守能量还蛮离谱的，蛮想知道为什么。然后再来就是他先攻的时候内战做2只洛奇亚，这个也蛮奇怪的。 就蛮想知道他的想法。没办法去打哦，所以你没有要打 I 咯，没有要打 I 咯，也没办法，就可惜。我蛮好奇，到底我的高级会员有几个人？我自己是没有算过。有20个哦，我操，20个很多欸。打到资格临时有事啊，结果都是没有要打的人来看直播。Hello,
Hello,
hello,
can you hear
Tord.
me?
Yeah, sure, I can hear you. So how about you?
Perfect, perfect. I can hear you as well. Oh, there we go. Can you see
Okay.
me too?
So sorry, I'm a little bit nervous right now.
No, don't worry, don't worry. We all good.
Okay. My name is Pep to the Peak. It's a card, but because I started playing PTCG around a year ago when Evolving Sky
Okay.
just launched, and I personally run YouTube channel as well, and I wanna ask you some question because I'm preparing a tournament, and that tournament is around 2,000 people and in Taiwan.
Yeah, I heard. It's crazy.
You mean 2,000 people?
Yeah, it's so many. I never attended a tournament with that many people. That's a lot.
Yeah. Because our tournament is free, you don't need to pay. So it will be much more people and more entertainment players, recreational players. They play some very, very low tier deck as well. Okay, so let's get into the topic. For this tournament, I personally want to play the Lost Toolbox. And the reason is, first of all, the meta between the TPCI, the English version, and the Asia version, we play best of one. And for me, best of one is very, very tough. A lot of time, if you just, for example, some Lugia mirror and you flip the coin, you lose. That the win rate will be super, super low. So I tend to play more some anti-meta deck a lot in the previous seasons and in the previous meta. And so this time I chose Lost Kyogre. So I want to share the screen.
Yeah, perfect.
So you can see my deck. Okay.
There we go.
Can you see
yeah.
it right now?
Yes, perfect.
So the first one I want to show you is some cards that we have but you don't.
Yes.
Okay, the first card is Damazenta. I'm not so sure how much do you know about our card pool.
I actually looked a little bit into it before we started today, and I did check out this card because that was like a key difference that I found. So I know this card now. Ability is -30 if you have energy attached, and plus 120 if something got knocked out last turn, right?
Yes, and the ability is if it got energy attached, the damage will be -30.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And this is like mainly the Stoutland counter, right? So that you can knock it out in one attack. But it's also like a good card in general, though. Right?
Yeah, this card makes a big difference in Lost Toolbox because you will have a very sturdy, very reliable damage output. And mostly, if you want to play Raikou, I mean the amazing rare Raikou, you usually put this card.
Yes, because they share energy typing, right?
Yes,
so,
and Raikou is for the splashy, and the Zamazenta for the one big punch.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and the second card, the second card is not belong to our deck, but it's a important card. Do you know this card?
I think we have this one. Isn't this the one you can open with if you draw it in your opening hand?
Yes.
And then you can search out two. Is it 2 trainer cards or 2 item cards?
Two trainer cards.
2 trainer cards. Yeah.
Yes. And also this card, Rotom V-Star. It's just plus 40. But it has a V-Star.
This card we also don't have, actually. So this one is also a new one.
Yes. These 3 cards are the main tournament cards that you will probably see, and you don't have it in the English version. So that's some background knowledge. And the deck I already played for around a month is this one. It's called the Zamazenta Kyogre Lost Toolbox.
Perfect.
I built it by myself. Yeah, and my thinking process, until I get this list, I tried many variants. So it's all about Kyogre, but first I use Zapdos.
Okay.
The one you can shoot on the bench.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I use it mainly for countering Lugia. And also it's a perfect card to play against Mew. Although you already have like 90% win rate against Mew, but if you have Zapdos, it's automatically win because you just use the what's that? The goggle.
Yeah.
You use that one to one shot the Genesect, and you win on the Kyogre. Yes, and I gave that up because our deck has no answer to Stoutland.
True.
Yeah, and if you cannot take out Stoutland, you almost automatically lose. Okay, so
that's why Samacenta is so good, right? Because you can knock out the Stoutland with the Samacenta again.
With Zamazenta?
Yeah, that's why Samacenta is strong, right? Because you can knock out the Stoutland.
Yes, and between the Zapdos build into the Zamazenta build, I tried Z-Guard. Yes, and Z-Guard is also discarded because the one you will take out is weakness. What's that called? English.
Dunsparce?
Yes, Dunsparce. Because of Dunsparce, I think Z-Guard is not reliable at all. Because if they put Stoutland and Dunspace onto Dunsparce onto the bench at the same turn, I just automatically lose. So that's why I don't use Zygarde anymore. So I switched to the Zamazenta build. And the cons about Zamazenta is the energy, 2 required color. And it made, as you can see, I made my metal energy into 5. So that's quite a lot.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, it almost make me a lost Zamazenta deck instead of Kyogre. Yes.
It's true though. But like Zamazenta is a really good card though. It has very high damage output, being a single pricer.
Yes.
And also like has good HP as well. So like the best kind of single pricer we have like outside is the Snorlax, right? And this one is doing more damage and has more HP, right? So
yes. Effectively 160.
Exactly, right? So I think I think it's just like a really good card. I'm pretty jealous we don't have this one. It's such a cool card, honestly.
Yeah. The Trickor, I mean, another one who also play Trick Roar, another one who also play Kyogre. Yeah. He also said the same thing, that he really want the Zamazenta when I chat with him. They currently use Choice Bell plus Snorlax and sometimes Raikou to play against Stoutland, right?
Exactly. That's their plan right now. But it's harder to find the Choice Bell piece, right? So
yeah,
Zamazenta is definitely a lot easier because you only need the Zamazenta and the gate, right? And you don't need that extra piece.
Yes.
You just need a hand attachment and the Zamazenta, and you're good to go. I can counter the Stoutland. Because if the Stoutland goes unchecked, you kind of just lose the game again, right? So
yes, you have to murder it immediately.
Exactly.
Yes. And I think this deck is okay, to be honest. I don't really think it's good. Because I played 6 tournaments already. And I will show you the 6 tournaments I played. In Taiwan, the tournament I'm going to attend is called Regional. Anyone can join. It's almost no requirement, and so we have 2,000 people. And as for
it's free, right? Yeah.
Best of 1. Yeah, and it's free. And this is 7 tournaments we have. I mean, in Taiwan, before the regional league, we always have town leagues, around 7 to 8 town leagues. It's much more smaller, around 200 people. And
that's still a lot of people, though.
Yeah, it's still a lot. And we play 7 Swiss round. And we, the top cut, we got 16 people. And this is the result. Okay, the champion, the finalist, and the top 4. The whole structure is like this. And in these tournaments, the first 1 or 2, I play the Zapdos, and maybe 1 I play the Zygarde, and the rest of it I all play Zamazenta. Yes, and my results are around 4 wins to 5 wins. Okay,
that's very good.
Yeah, I always get better than 4 wins, but I never got 6 wins. Because if you got 6 wins, you will go into the top card, and I didn't make it at all.
Okay.
Yes. So in these tournaments, I found some problem. So today, the main issue is to tell you the problem I found and ask you about your advice. So the first one will be, let's get into Lugia first, because this is the most important matchup.
For sure.
Yes. And I also asked a little bit with Andre. Yeah, because we chatted, maybe 3 days ago. And Andre told me about one play that Lugia can just make Kyogre totally die. Yeah, and which is you just use your Oranguru, stacking your Manaphy until the very last moment.
So you can say that again. Use your Oranguru to
stack your Manaphy back to your top deck.
Oh yeah.
And use your Professor without any problem. You don't even need to put Manaphy into play at all. When you think your opponent is almost finished, you just play the Manaphy immediately, and sometimes I just lose because I don't have the time to recycle my Sableye back, or I don't even have time to use my Sableye because I just have to make the Kyogre go right now.
Yes. That's definitely the most important part of the matchup, I think, for like the Lugia perspective, is like the timing of the Manaphy, right? So like they can't really bench the Manaphy too early, because then you just knock it out, right? You kill it with Sableye.
Yes.
And then you have your Kyogre to sweep the game, right? So
yes.
I actually did the same thing against Grant when I played against him in like the semifinals of LAIC.
Yes.
I was also like delaying my Manaphy until the end to prevent the Kyogre from winning the game. I think that like it's a relatively high level play, so we can like hopefully most people won't like really be able to time it properly, but you still don't like auto lose even if they do it, right? Because it depends a little bit on how the price trade work out for you before that point as well, right? So you still have like possibilities to win before it, depending on like how well they get off the Stoutland and like their other attackers. You also have like really good damage output in your Samosenta again, right? So
yes.
I like. Sorry.
Because of your play on the international championship, I guess. So lots of people, they mock what you do.
You think so?
So
Okay.
I actually got wrecked by this play in one of these tournaments.
Oh, I see. my bad. That's kind of crazy though.
Yeah.
But the damage output you have is still strong though. It's like you can, if you do 220 to the Lugia, then they have 60 HP left, which is pretty good math for Sableye. So you can go Sableye knockout and then set up, say, an Arceus, right?
Yes.
For knockout again. I think if they don't bench Manaphy early though, right?
Yes.
Then I think one of your better routes is probably to go Greninja on both the Arceus and then kill them with Sableye to diminish what they can do
in the future
in terms of energies, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So
It'll take
do
two
you
turns
think
to get rid of both Arceus, right?
Yeah. I mean, do you think using the Greninja early is a good idea?
Yeah, I don't think it should be too bad. So you can go Greninja and then Sableye. The only issue with with the pressure is that they can go Stoutland in the meantime, right?
Yes.
So if they go Stoutland, then you have to go in with Samacenta again. So if you go 1990, then you can't really go Sableye to finish them off. You have to kill the Stoutland first.
Yes.
And then kill the Archeops again after that again.
Yes.
Right? Or else it doesn't really work.
Yeah. So you think playing Greninja into Sableye is a good counter that I can do a lot?
Yes, if they don't have Manaphy in play yet, right, then you have to try to take advantage in some other way, right? So I don't think it should be too bad. Like, it's 2 turns for 2 prices, and you get rid of the Archeops, so you limit their options from there.
Yeah.
So I think that could be relatively good.
Yeah, I actually never ever do that. The first reason is in my understanding before, I mean, it's probably incorrect because I think they can charge up to 8 energies when I doing these thing because it's 2 turn, right?
Yes.
So I sometimes think what I do into their Archeops is meaningless because they already charged 8 energies.
Yeah, like, it's not like the disruption factor is not like crazy, but it helps a little bit. But it's more that you're getting 2 prizes for 2 turns, right?
Yes.
So like you're trading even at the very least.
Okay.
I also think that, like, I think one more thing we can do, though, maybe this is like even more effective, is what if we just knock out the Oranguru so that if the opponent draws into Manaphy, they kind of have to bench it. They can't research it, right? Or like stack it on top.
Yes.
That could also be like potentially very good to force Manaphy to come down before they want to, right?
Yes, but I actually did this once, and I use Sableye to put all in onto Oranguru, and it's a little bit slow. I mean, it's probably okay, but it's really, really because I need to accumulate my lost zone rapidly to execute this option.
Yes, you do.
Yes, and by that moment, sometimes they already get a good board. They don't really have to Professor.
I mean, it's true. Like, it's not like a waterproof plan or anything here. It's just like it helps a little bit.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course.
There's still like ways for them to play around it for sure.
Yeah. So okay, Lugia. I mean, that's the number one. I mean, the number one big problem. And also, Asian meta has tons of Charons. Charons care.
Oh, really? I see. That's actually pretty big to know about as well. Because that also makes things harder, I think. Because it's usually like kind of close matchup, like without the Charons, right? But the Charons can make things more difficult.
Yeah, make my Zamazenta totally useless.
Yeah. So like the setup there seems more scary. I mean, it's probably like another good argument to go after the Archeops play, because at least that, like, if they try and scare an Archeops, that they have less energy isolation, right? But
yeah, they usually do it on the Lugia. So if I accumulate too much damage, like I use Zamazenta to shoot 220 onto it, they just Charon.
Exactly. Then we have a problem, right? That's
big,
too
big
much
problem.
of a heal. Yeah.
Okay, so if let's say Asian meta has tons of Charon, I do more Arceus play? I mean, the killing Arceus plan? You think so?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so, because like attacking into the Lugia into turn scare is a really big punish, right? So
Yes, very, very big.
Because that's then you did nothing that turn. That was just like a pass, a waste of attack, right?
Yes.
While if you do Greninja on the birds, even if one gets healed, you still can kill the other one and set up. Say you do 90-90 though on Arceus, right?
Yes.
If they don't heal, you kill both of them with Sableye.
Yes.
If one of them heal, you kill one of them. And then you put 60 on Lugia, and then they kind of have to heal that one too, or else you can again knock out with Samacenta.
Yeah. They usually just play one Charon. This deck, I mean, the Charon Lugia is developed by Shimada Daiji.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, he played that deck for champion in one middle scale tournament in Japan. So tons of people mock his deck. So that's why we have tons of Charon right now.
That makes sense. Yes, of course.
Yes. So that's the Lugia. And also I have some out topic question. Is your Lugia deck has no V-Guard energy?
Yes.
But I mean, it's very, very weird in my understanding, because V-Guard energy really, really help Lugia, especially in mirror matchup, to boost his health into a very, very high level. But how did you think about it? Why you think it's a removable option?
So I also think the card is really, really good. Like V-Guard Energy is strong. It has good flexibility for sure, and in like in the mirror matches, right? It forces your opponent to find the choice belt, right? Like they need that like triple powerful and the choice belt for their Lugia to knock out the Lugia, right? That's like the main thing.
Yes.
But it doesn't stop like a lot of the other one-shot options. So like Charizard with belt still one-shots, right?
Yes.
And the Veltal, amazing rare Veltal, also one-shots. So it's mainly for Lugia, block Lugia again. And it also has some good uses against Mew, because they need one more tablet to knock out the Lugia V-Star as well.
Yes.
The main thing about the V-Guard Energy, though, is that most of the games you will play in Mirror and against Mew and like anything, it usually comes down to like other factors, right? So it comes down to if you can set up properly in the first place. So say if it's between Capture Energy and V-Guard Energy, right? If your deck list is full, you don't have more space, and you have to make a decision: do I want the Capture Energy or do I want the V-Guard? Because that's often the two cards people like cut, right? To get space for the V-Guard. Turn 1, your opening hand, then V-Guard is like the Capture Energy is a way better card, right?
Yes.
Almost every time. You get second Lugia, which is incredibly important, going second, and you get the first Lugia going first, right? Which is also like very, very important. If you touch V-Guard Energy and pass, then you are in trouble. So it's just a way better card to open with. Capture Energy is also a much better card most of the time to see in the mid game as well.
To find your another attacker.
Exactly. Because the only thing you really need to find is an attacker, right? That's all you need. You need to see Charizard or Yveltal or like anything, right? Maybe you need Manaphy or Dunsparce, like something like this. And then the Capture Energy is just so good. It gives you the attacker, and you're allowed to retreat your Arceus into the attacker as well, right? So it does kind of everything for you at once, like compared to the V-Guard. So even though V-Guard is really good, like it's a really good energy. If it's between like V-Guard and Capture, I think it's very close because Capture does everything you want the deck to do, right?
Yes.
So it's just a decision between consistency and power level, right?
Yes.
So you want your deck to be stronger, like more powerful, you do the V-Guard energy. If you want the deck to be more consistent and just like do the basic thing more often, then you do the Capture energy instead. I like V-Guard energy has been my 61st card a lot of the times. I really want it in the deck, but I just couldn't get myself to cut the Capture energy for it. But if I could play for Capture and the V-Guard, I would do it. But for now, I prioritized like other options because the deck list is so tight. But that's like the reasoning behind. But I often get that question actually, so it's a very valid question, and I think the V-Guard energy is good. But again, like most of the times, like Capture energy will actually be better, and when the V-Guard energy is useful, the Capture energy could have been like just as good. And most of the times, those matchups are decided on other factors and not that one like damage reduction from the Lugia at one time.
Yeah.
And you have ways to get around your opponent's like damage reduction anyway. So I felt like it was okay to not play it. Another energy I also really wanted was the gift energy.
Yeah.
So if you're stuck with a dead hand, you can just put it on your main attacker, and you don't really need to find anything else because then you replenish your hand. So it's really good against, say, Roxanne Pat, for example. Then you have a great like option against that as well.
Okay. Another question about Lugia is I saw you play Mirror in the tournament. You going first, but on the first turn you still put down the second Lugia.
Yes. Normally you don't really want to do that. If you go first, you only want to go like one Lugia so you can deny the prices as best as possible. There are like exceptions, right? So like if you have a very good start, you always do one Lugia, and then that's it. And then you just spam single pricers, and then you win the price trade that way. But with the you kind of need to bench the second one sometimes if you're scared of like your setup. If you're scared of your setup, you want the second one so that like if you don't have a good start and you can't really pop your Lugia next turn, right? Then you have one more turn to do it, right? Should one of them die.
A backup plan.
Yes, a backup plan.
Okay, so it's not your default plan.
No, it's definitely plan B.
Okay, so, I see.
You kind of do it if you feel like your start is too weak. You can also do it if you feel like that. Like Lugia is a pretty cost-efficient attacker because you can use all types of energies on it, and it does a lot of damage. And it usually can even tank and hit, right? If you're lucky. So you get pretty good damage output compared to your energies on Lugia. Which means that like in the games you're very far ahead in, using multiple Lugias is usually very good because then you don't have to worry about running out of energies.
Yeah.
While if you're using single pricers, you have to spend more energies to actually use them, right? Yveltal is very expensive. And Charizard can be very expensive as well, at least in the early game.
Yes. Okay. Some other questions is more about that thing. So the reason you have Oranguru instead of Crobat V in your deck, I want to know more about it because in Taiwan, tons of people, they saw you play in this kind of style, and they also mock your play. but later on they still put Crobat V into their deck. Maybe take up the Oranguru slot or other card slot. I want to know more about the philosophy behind it, because that will help me to play against Lugia, I think.
So I like the Oranguru quite a lot in the deck, just in general. I mean, it's a really good card, right? But all my personal bias aside, with the card, there are a couple of good reasons. So, like I'll talk about the Crobat as well, but like all the good arguments for Oranguru first, and that's as an engine, the Archeops engine, right? You need all the energies to actually be in the deck, so you can randomly get screwed by just drawing into your energies, right?
Yes.
If you draw into, say, you're playing a research and you need to find your attacker. Say you need to find the Veltal, right? And you can't use the Archeops yet because you need to find the Veltal first. And then if you draw into too many of your energies, like you draw into your Aurora energies, or maybe you draw into your only double turbo energy, right? And then suddenly you can't charge the Veltal anymore because all your energies are in hand, or like you got 2 Aurora energies and you needed at least like one more of them in the deck to charge. Then Oranguru can fix that problem and put energy back in deck, and then you can still attack that turn.
Yeah, it's the most intuitive reason.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you get your energies back in deck. So that's good, right? So you don't end up with all of them in hand. So that's great. You get money protection, of course. So you can stack your top deck should the opponent play Marnie, so you can still get the card you need next turn. Really good in the early game. Turn 1 Marnie is scary. So you can put the Research on top, or Lugia V-Star, or anything, right? Protect yourself. And you can also preserve resources, like we talked about earlier. So you can put that Manaphy on top for your research, for example, right? Or any other card, like
all of your tech card.
Yes.
That you will need in the end game, but you don't need it right now. But you still need Professor or some Marnie to make your engine goes on.
Exactly. It's also pretty good when you're playing against deck that doesn't have hand disruption as well. It's also really strong because you can go like you can stack the card you want on top, and then you can Marnie. So against Lost Box, for example, what they can do is like they can put the boss on top, and then they Marnie, and then they draw into the boss again, and then they have the boss for next turn, and they got the hand disrupt to you. It's just like a safe way to prepare for next turn as well, and still like do the disruption route that turn.
Yeah. Also, like you said, Oranguru has many good reasons to play with it, and it's only 1 or 2 player, I guess. 1 or 2, the best player in Taiwan. They using Judge a lot.
Oh, Judge, yeah.
Judge. They play Judge in Mew. In Mew. It's not in Lugia, it's in Mew. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the Lugia matchup. For this deck, I mean the Kyogre Zamazenta deck, I think there are some impossible matchup for me.
All right. Let's look at them.
The first one is obvious. The Reggie Alaki. I don't know how to spell it in English.
The Vikavolt item lock?
Yeah, the Vigavolt.
Yes.
Vigavolt is almost instant lose.
Yes, that one should be very difficult. Yes.
Yeah, because I have no way to recycle energies. I have no way to do the Mirage Gate.
Yes. So you need to manually charge the Zamazenta somehow to knock out the Vikavolt.
Yeah, but if they have the cape,
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy.
Yeah. In my personal experiences, when I play against Vigavolt, even if they bricked for 4 turns, I still cannot win.
Yeah, that matchup is really hard. There's no doubt.
Yeah, so I think I just give up. Give up that matchup is a better option.
I think so. It's probably better to not worry too much about that. There is a card you can play that makes it a little bit more doable. That is Zygarde. Have you seen that one?
Zygarde?
Yes. Let me find it for you.
Okay.
Just gonna log in real quick and find it. It's a pretty cool card in Lost Box, but you need fighting energy. So your energy is
Zygarde. Okay.
Okay.
I think it's fighting energy. You do 160.
Yes.
Okay. I actually consider about it because the Dunsparce problem. So I just give it up. I cannot reliably use that as my Stoutland solution.
No, you cannot. Like Samazant is definitely better. This would be for Vikavolt again.
Yeah.
But you still run into a problem with the item lock, of course. It's not like even a great solution, but it helps, right? It helps.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. It's still very hard. So.
Make my win rate from 1% to 20-ish. I don't know. Maybe not even 20.
No, maybe not. Maybe 5.
From 1 to 5.
Still probably not worth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to mention it.
Yeah. As you can see here, we have 2 champion, which is Vigavolt.
Yes.
And this guy, this motherfucker is one of my friends.
Oh no.
And he makes so many recreational players think Vigavolt is a good deck. Which makes me very, very, very pissed off.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Like Vigavolt isn't really putting up much great results like outside of Thailand either, right? So it's.
How do you think about Vigavolt against Lugia?
I think Lugia is pretty favored.
Yeah. So you see this? What the actual? I mean, how did he did it? I have no idea.
But the thing is also like it is. It's very start dependent, right? So
yeah, of course.
If the Lugia player has a weak hand, right? Like cannot get Archeops in the discard pile at all on the first turn, then there is a window to do the item lock and steal the game.
Yeah. So that's also one problem that we play best of 1. So if you are lucky enough, this will happen.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Vigavolt is not my consider. I mean, just give it up. And the Regigigas is also very, very difficult. But I heard probably we can still somehow play against it, but I personally have no idea.
Let's see. I don't think it should be like that bad. It's definitely still a little bit hard, but you have the Kyogre play, right? So you get to do 2 prizes at the end of the game with Kyogre.
Yes, I have one chance to have 2 prize in a single turn, which is the final one.
Yes, exactly.
And but
so
I have no. I mean, my Cramorant is useless somehow. My Sableye is not efficient at all.
You can use the Sableye to knock out Regieleki, because that one only has 120. You can also use Sableye to spread damage around on everything, and then like continue to spam Sableye to take the knockouts.
Yes, that's probably the only way. So that's why I say it's not useless, but it's inefficient.
Yes, exactly. It's also like, it's interesting that Samosenta, it almost survives all of your opponent's attackers here, because you can get to 160, right?
Yes.
The only Pokemon that does 160 is the Regidrago.
Yes.
So, like Regigigas even does only 150.
If
so
they
if
don't
you
have
can,
powerful.
If they don't have powerful, yes, exactly. So if they don't, maybe there is a chance that you can go Samosenta, knock out Regidrago, and then they don't get to switching into another Regidrago. And gives you like one free turn of Samosenta. But I do agree that it will be difficult.
Yeah, but a small problem is Zamazenta cannot knock out the second Regi.
That's also true though. But at least you can do some damage, so maybe you can pick it up with Sableye.
Yes. Okay, so this is, I think, heavily unfavored, but still possible to win, because Reggie is also a deck that sometimes they break a lot.
It's true. It is pretty inconsistent, and you don't need that big head start to win. You just need a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So Mew, I think, is almost 90% win rate.
Yeah, that one is great. That's your best matchup probably.
One of the best. I mean, almost. And Duraludon is very, very tough.
Yes, like your Kyber doesn't do a whole ton in that matchup either, right? So the damage out from Samosenta is still not bad though. 220 is pretty good. That is decent.
One problem for my deck is I have no stadium. And
that's true.
Also, I have no stadium removal. That's one thing I probably will consider about. But currently, I cannot really find space. Why I talk about the stadium is because some people, they play the healing stadium in Duraludon.
Yeah, the Crystal Cave, right?
Yeah. So it will make this matchup very, very difficult.
Yes, I agree. You're also like, you're gonna be barely missing from Hyper Potion.
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, Hyper Potion is a problem, but I cannot really do anything about it.
I think like if you do the 220, right? The Hyper Potion down to 100, and you do 220 again, you're missing with 1 damage, right?
Yes, but I will probably leave it to my Kyogre. Because it's 230 left. So it's probably for Kyogre. But I mean, because they only have 3 Pokemon in play, and I cannot single-handedly use one Zama, or I mean, one Zama plus one Sableye plus one Kyogre to win this game, because they have no bench. So that's one reason I slot the Horn.
Yeah, that's really good against that matchup. Yes.
Yeah, but so far, my personal record playing against Duraludon is 1 win, 5 losses.
All right. Was that with the Echo Horn the whole time?
No. Maybe 2 of them, no Horn. and the other 4 I have horn.
Okay.
Yeah, because the first one is the crystal cave. I have no idea how to win. Another one is because I just kinda bricked by Marnie. And also I mean my efficiency on prize card is relatively low in this matchup, so I just cannot make it.
That is very fair.
Yeah.
That card definitely helps, but like a one of Echo Horn, it might still not be enough. And maybe if you added like a second one as well, you could like really cheese them out, right? And just knock out Arceus over and over again with Samosenta.
Yeah, so
that could work.
So I mean, the second horn, maybe I need second boss.
Maybe you can also like, hopefully you can maybe do some escape rope plays as well. If they have no bench, to force it back into the active.
You mean the mask? What?
Yeah, if you say if your opponent only has to Rulud and VMAX in play after you knock out their Station, right? Or like their Arceus.
Yeah.
Then you can take an Echo Horn, and then they only have the
rope
bench again. Yeah, escape rope. Yeah, the
okay.
Sorry, and then you escape rope the Arceus back into the active.
Yeah,
and,
true. Maybe second horn is also good for some matchups.
Yeah, like Horn and Sableye in general is kind of nice together.
Yeah, but you play no horn in your Sableye deck. I remember.
Yes. But I also did that because we it was closed deck list in a new format, right? So everyone was assuming I was playing Echo Horn anyway.
The horn is in their mind. It's totally okay.
Exactly. So we tricked them into thinking we played the horn instead. But it was definitely probably the card I missed the most that they were only in their mind that I wish that was in my hand as well sometimes, you know?
Okay.
It was definitely like a really good card.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's a very strong card in this deck in general, I think. Because it has very good synergy with Kyogre and with Sableye. So if you feel like you need more power level, I think Echo Horn would be one of the best cards you can add in here.
Sure. Okay, so another deck is a little bit tough to play against is Eternatus Weezing.
Oh yeah, that one. That one is interesting.
Taiwan, I have no idea why so many people they love to play Eternatus Weezing. I mean, it's definitely overplayed. I mean, in Taiwan.
I can imagine. I also saw like a decent amount of them like running around at the last regionals, and I also have no idea why people are playing this. The deck itself just doesn't feel that great. But Weezing it can be annoying, right? It's pretty good against the Lost Zone engine in general.
Yeah.
Because you can turn off Comfy and Cramorant and overall be pretty annoying. But
I mean, these two decks are pretty much the same.
Yeah, exactly. They kind of like lock you down and don't allow you to play the game, right?
Yeah, for some mentally unhealthy people.
Yes.
Yeah. So
they're both gonna
for Weezing, what's my plan?
So Escape Rope is gonna be a really good card. Because you can hopefully force the Weezing out of the active again.
Yeah, of course. But if I cannot, I mean, my only hope will be manually charge up my Zamazenta. I think it's the only way, but it only does 100.
Yes, it's like another problem that I was gonna mention is that the the Samosenta only says like if you were knocked out during opponent's last turn, right? So if you die by poison, you don't activate the attack again,
Yes.
right? So it doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
So that's a little bit of a problem. At least you get to two-shot it and get rid of it, but it's definitely annoying though.
Yeah.
No doubt. I feel like this is a way more doable matchup still than what the
Vigavolt.
the Vikavolt deck is.
Yeah,
Like,
Vigavolt is 1% win rate, but this one, I personally think, it's around 30-ish.
Yeah, it's like it's definitely like possible to beat, at least if everything goes right for you.
Yeah, and also I have a boss, so it's okay.
Yeah, the boss definitely helps a lot, I think. So you have 2 ropes, you have a boss. You can manually charge the Samosenta. And then if you do get through the Weezing, you get to do a big cargo play in the late game as well.
Yes.
And that can take like at least 4 prizes, right? It can be like a really big play.
Yeah, double Crobat.
Double that would be amazing, right? Yeah. Then like your opponent can be quite a bit ahead, and you're still able to win if you can get like something going, right?
Yes.
The most problematic part of the matchup will probably be like Marnie Weezing in the early game, right?
Yeah, it's just, very random. If that happens, it's just, if I could win or not is totally based on luck.
Yeah, which is fair enough, I think. You like Oranguru can be used like turn 1 before they put the Weezing up, right? So,
yes. The reason I slot Oranguru is also because lots of time I just need this.
Yeah.
I play this card.
It's a great card, right?
Yeah, I play this card is for 2 reasons. The first one is I lack of metal energy in my deck.
Mm-hmm.
In this particular situation, it's very helpful.
Oh yeah, to put energies back. Yes.
Yeah, because I forced to use Mirage Gate into at least 1 metal energy to use my Zamazenta.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is, of course, Morning Protection.
Yes.
Because there are some times I have one what does he?
Chorus? Chorus.
Yeah, chorus. When I have one chorus in my hand and I just draw into another one and I just fuck up if I got Marnie.
Yes, exactly.
Marnie path and I don't even get to use my Luminion. So later it's the newest card in my deck, Oranguru.
I love it though. It's a great card. I will put it in this engine whenever I can. Really. And putting colors on top of the deck is very good for sure.
Yes. Okay, so for Palkia and for Giratina, I think it's favorable. How do you think?
I will definitely agree here. I also think that those should be favorable. You're trading pretty well here because of Samosenta doing so much damage to them that they're easy to pick off and then damage things on the bench as well afterwards with Sableye. And you also have Kyogre to have like a big sweep in the later stages of the game.
Yeah. And
those definitely looks favorable. They don't have any crazy tricks against you either.
Yes. For these decks, these are top 8.
All right.
Top 8, I think. The new appearance are the Zorak. Zorak is 99% win. I cannot
Zorak
imagine.
Zorak is like one of the best matchups as well. I think that one is great.
Yeah,
No doubt.
this is 99% and this is 92, I guess. Mew 92, and these are all appeared, so it's fine, I guess. Let me check about some other possible decks. Sable Eye Charizard.
Oh yeah. Oh, that one is also kind of interesting, right? It's a mirror, but it's like it's slightly different attacking options, right?
Yeah, different structure. Yeah.
I think, like in general, though, like if you're having two Lost Box decks, right, and one of them has Greninja and the other one has Charizard, you're in general more favored with Greninja than with Charizard.
Yeah.
Because you're not getting to use the damage output of Charizard properly into like it's all single pricers, right? So
yeah.
It's just not that great of an attacker. It has more HP, so that's good, but like the extra HP isn't like doing much compared to Greninja's extra HP anyway.
Yeah.
So if you have Greninja and your opponent doesn't, what it does is you force your opponent to bench Manaphy the whole game, and you can always target the Manaphy as like an easy prize with the Sableye again.
Yeah.
And you force your opponent to like continuously replenish this Manaphy, and if they don't, then Greninja can come in and take extra prizes. This is especially important when you're playing Echo Horn, because even if your opponent tries to play around Echo Horn, or like plays around Greninja by not having enough good targets on the board, right? You can still Echo Horn to get yourself another target, so you can still take the double price turn.
Yeah.
And of course, you have the Kyogre in the late game. So another reason that Manaphy has to be on the board, even if like things are more tanky, right, and can survive Greninja, they still need to survive the Kyogre as well, right? So,
yeah. One problem against Sable Eye Charizard is because they have tons of Clara.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So they can still Clara the Manaphy back up.
Yeah.
But you're still trading at least even, right?
Yeah.
When you're knocking it out every turn. And I'm not sure what is the common count of Clara these days in that deck. Is it still 2, or have they gone up to like 3 and like Palpad and stuff?
They usually play. Let me find it. Sorry.
No worries.
Because I actually personally, I mean, these are all decks that Japan tournaments. I mean, I manually do it every single week. I mean, there are more than 1,000 decks. Because I'm a YouTuber, so I provide these to my member.
Awesome.
My paid members, so they can check these data easily. This is one example.
Did you ever send me your YouTube channel so I can check it out?
Okay, sure. Later.
Oh yeah, all right.
Okay, so this is pretty standard, I think. They play 3 Clara without any Palpad.
Yeah, that's fair.
And they play 2 Shino Temple.
Yeah.
1 Lava. So they can Raihan into the Lava, and some people, if they play Snorlax in this deck, they even have Twin Energy.
Yeah.
So they Raihan, Lava, manually attach one, and put the Twin Energy. They can use Charizard in very, very early game.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I've seen versions of this for sure. And it's pretty cool. Triple belt as well, so that you can go 2-shot on Lugia with Cramorant and like 1-shot with Charizard as well.
Yeah, they play tons of belt because they wanna use the Cramoran 2-shot their Lugia.
Exactly.
Yeah. One problem with this deck, I mean, when I play against it, is they have tons of these.
Switching cards?
Yeah, switching cards. So they can accumulate their Lost Zone much more faster than me. And
then go into save life faster, right?
And also they kill my Comfey early, so my engine kinda stop early. So they make this difference bigger and bigger.
That is also true. That could be like one of the ways you can lose, though, right? If they do that, then you never really get to take advantage of your Greninja, right?
Yeah.
And your Comfys die and Sableye gets to attack first.
Yes.
I always thought like in the mirrors it was very important to be the one to rush the Sableye first. Be the first one to like attack and pressure with it.
Yeah, the one who can accumulate 10 first will be very favored.
It definitely helps a lot.
Yeah.
There's still like a couple more things to the matchup. But going to 10 is very strong. It's definitely a lot of stuff in the early game as well. If I think there's a lot with the Cramorant battle basically. So if you can bench something that tanks the Cramorant, right? So this can be Oranguru or Samosenta, or something like that, right? If you get that down on the bench, you can block your opponent's escape ropes in the early game.
The rope protection in the early game.
Yes. So you can promote something that can survive the Cramorant, so you can get the price lead again.
True.
That's gonna be like really big against other Lost Box decks.
Yeah, the pre Lost Zone 10 plan.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So you want to be the first one to attack and take prizes, right? So you probably also want to go second in this matchup, so you can attack with Cramorant before your opponent can, right?
Yes.
To get the first prize.
Yes.
And going first, even with full speed, right? Even with like 4 of like all the switching cards here, it's still like not that easy to get to 10 turn 2 going first, because you can't color
Almost impossible.
It is difficult. So, but if you go second, it's much easier to actually get to 10.
Yeah, because you can play 2 chorus. Yeah.
Yeah. That helps a lot. I also noticed this list doesn't run any Lost Vacuum, so that also makes it more difficult, right?
Yeah. Lost Vacuums is not that common in the Sableye Charizard build anymore.
All right, that's fine then. This is kind of nice because you know that you can keep your Balloon around, right?
Yes.
Without it getting vacuumed. All right, I mean that seems fair.
Okay. For other decks, in the past, I think the QRAM is a little bit favored, but right now it's super favored.
Oh yeah, the QRAM. I mean, they have weakness, right?
Yes. I mean, in the past, when I don't have Zamazenta, they always trick me with the water energy a lot.
Yeah.
So it's very painful. But right now, I just 1-shot or 2-shot.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, with the Kyurem, or like with the Samosenta, I mean, you should have a great time against that. They basically can't use the Kyurem, right? They have to like go with Palkia the whole time.
Yeah, but I will just hide my metal energy until I mean, as long as I can.
That's true.
Yeah.
It's just like the best of one meta is kind of funny as well, because like you don't actually have to beat them twice, right? So you can like the surprise moment is really big, right?
Yeah.
Like to steal a game because your opponent doesn't really know what they're playing against.
Yeah. The best of one in Taiwan, most of time you don't know what they play, but as for me, I'm not super sure because some people they just know what I am. I mean, they know me, so they know I play Kyogre, but they are not so sure about my attackers. So I think I can still hide Zamazenta to some extent.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, you can also like it's gonna be a big tournament, right? Like
Yes.
a lot of people, but I'm not sure how easy it will be. But if you're able to, you can try to do some scouting, right, and see if
Almost
you can figure
impossible.
out what other people are playing.
Yeah.
Like say maybe like at the end of the day, right? Like all if you are ending up at the top tables, you will usually see the same people sitting next to you like multiple times.
True.
And at that point, maybe you can start figuring out like what the people around you are playing.
Yes, but to me, I mean, Kyogre doesn't really need that much scouting because I rely on my own playing. I rely on my plan more. And for those tech cards I hate, usually, I mean, it will be quite standard. Like Manaphy, I can almost always presume they have Manaphy. Yeah.
What do you think about taking a lost city and just like lost zoning the Manaphy with the Sableye? Get rid of it.
It's probably good.
It will be fun at least, right?
Yes. The reason I say probably good is because my number one enemy is still Lugia, but Lugia doesn't affect it by the lost city at all.
I know. So it's a very like specific one, or like it doesn't hit everything is the problem, and you mainly want to play cards that have all around uses, right? That it's not too matchup specific, that you can actually use against everything.
Yeah, I was thinking, what could I utilize my one lost CT? I mean, what kind of matchup? Probably, I mean, one or two that I can come up with is Sableye Charizard and probably Palkia, but some Palkia they play Nessa.
That's true.
Yeah, and I don't know what else. Lugia Mew doesn't affect it. Regigigas, if you only have one, it doesn't do anything.
Probably not. No.
Yeah, and what else? I think no. Only Sableye Charizard is a big hit, and Palkia is quite minor because only those who play Rod and Nessa will be affected.
I think it would only be like really good in Lost Zone engines, right? Like so against like Lost Zone engines that plays like the one Manaphy and you Lost Zone it, and then like you can go ham with Greninja and Kyogre afterwards. But of course, there's a lot of matchup it doesn't do anything against, and
only
Lost Zone
isn't
worth it in the end.
Yeah. I will.
It's like it's mainly just gonna be to get rid of Manaphy in like random matchups and make sure they can't get it back, right? Because you know it's gone now. So they can't like time it well afterwards to block Kyogre or whatever. It's like you kind of safe, but you need to find your one of Lost City as well, and like you need to put it in the deck. And yeah, I don't know. It's probably not worth it in the end. I just thought it could be funny to put Manaphy in the Lost Zone.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Remaining decks, very, very favored. Luna Stone.
Sure. Okay, we beat that, right? That should be fun.
It's 98%. Hisuian Zorak
Mhm,
is
mhm.
also super favored.
Yes, I mean, no doubt. Also mega favored.
Yeah, and Rotom V Star. This one is quite interesting though.
Actually, I think I need to let me double check that card.
That card, this one.
Yes, this one. So he does 80, 40 more for each card. Oh yeah, and number of tool cards from your discard pile in your lost zone.
Yes, still, I mean, multiply by 40. It just has 40 more base damage and also have a slightly better HP line.
Yes.
And the V-Star power is you can discard any amount of your
Draw as many as you discard.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, the reason I say this one is interesting is because they play the self-explosion card. I forgot about the name. It's basically a ball.
Electrode?
Yeah. Electrode. And the reason I say it's interesting is because they play that card to make them be able to use, what's that called?
Roxanne?
Yeah. They can play Roseanne at any moment, basically. Because
Yes.
one reason we play Kyogre is to prevent Roseanne. And when I play against this deck, I sometimes get wrecked by Roseanne, but still pretty favored. But this deck is so minor.
Yeah, I can imagine. Who will even play the Rotom deck? I mean, that should be fine, right?
Yeah, it's under 2%, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It should be.
Also, one deck I sometimes get wrecked is Flying Pikachu.
Oh, yeah. That deck also doesn't see much play anymore, does it?
It usually saw play in Lugia. They play
I see.
Lugia Pikachu, and they use this to counter some lost deck, like Lost Rayquaza, Lost Raikou, and also some, I don't know, some random. Oh, the Regigigas.
Yeah.
Because they are not favored against Regigigas if Regigigas is not bricked.
Yes.
Yeah.
True.
So some Lugia players, they play Flying Pikachu, and also it's combined with Arceus still. I mean, you can still see some people play Arceus Flying Pikachu with the Giratina, because those people, they just go AFK since the Worlds. And when they come back and participate this big tournament, they just grab the last deck they play.
They're just okay. So they're just like completely logged off and then just kept their deck and come back.
I mean, Arceus, Giratina, Flying Pikachu, the ADP still playable. I mean, it's not competitive, but it's not totally garbage.
I mean, it's true. Like you can still probably win games with it, right? It's crazy.
It still win many games. Yeah. So when I play against Flying Pikachu, I usually get a little bit wrecked, but not that much. Simply because I can still use Sableye and I can still use Kyogre. But because of the Yveltal, so people playing a little bit of Big Parasol, And for now, my only solution to big parasol is using rope. So I am considering about playing one vacuum.
I think, yeah, like vacuum isn't a bad card to have in the Lost Zone engine anyway, though, right? It speeds up your Lost Zone for Sableye if needed, and it's like a great utility card, right?
Yeah.
And you also mentioned you kind of wanted the Stadium out earlier as well, right? So then you have a card that doubles up as that as well, right?
Yes. So
Definitely might not be the worst, but I'm not sure if, like, do you really, is the argument that you want to tech for Parasol Flying Pikachu? Is it like just more in general though?
I mean, the reason I want to play vacuum is first I don't really like when I play against some decks their Lost CT is always there.
Yeah, that's true. Lost City is actually really annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine sometimes. I mean, probably most of times it's fine. I can still manage to ignore that Lost CT, but it's still annoying because I cannot be able to. I will not be able to recycle my Sableye, and
Yes.
and I sometimes don't like the Parasol because I only have 2 ropes. Yeah, so
That's true.
I mean, it's not particularly for big Parasol Flying Pikachu because I can still use rope, but all in all, I think is for multiple purposes.
Oh, the deck list is really tight though. Let's see.
Yeah.
What do you think? Let's see if we can find a card. Do you have any cards in mind?
You mean cards that can be removed?
Yeah, for the Lost Vacuum.
Because we also mentioned about the second horn. So
Yes,
at most we need 2 slots. But to be honest, because I'm the one who make this list up, so I know this is super tight.
Yes, for sure.
I am not so sure, but probably you can remove the fish.
I guess you could. Yes. The fish is nice though, but like to get the colors right. But I mean there is an argument that you might not be able to afford to spend a gate on the fish anyway, like to attack with, because you need to spend your gates on Samosenta and Kyogre instead, right?
Yeah, but sometimes, I mean, in my experiences, using gates on the fish is sometimes good because you will exhaust your energy too much if you have a very active, very intrusive opening game. Like if you use your gate on turn 2, you also use your gate on turn 3, or you draw just too many energies. Sometimes, I mean, when I play this deck, I think balance out the distribution of energy. I mean, in your deck, in your hand, or in your discard pile, in your Lost Zone, in your prize card. I mean, the balance between these areas is very important.
For sure.
Yeah, and sometimes I use Luminion to attack with gate is to make sure I have 1 water energy at least for my Kyogre to attack in the final turn.
Okay, that's fair. I can see that as well.
Yeah, and also Luminion is a very good attacker when I play against Radiant Charizard.
Yes, of course.
But I can still. I mean, I still think. I mean, even if Lumineon has so many advantages, but I mean, one reason I play Lumineon is to force my opponent to make mistake. Because so many recreational players they like to boss my Lumineon.
That's great, though, right?
I mean, I guess you can imagine why and why they do that and why I think it's a mistake. Because a lot of time I don't want to be Marnied. And I don't want to be. I don't want my Convey or Manaphy got killed as well. I will rather sacrifice one more prize card.
Yes. No, I agree. Sometimes like keeping your hand can definitely be worth the prize card, right?
Yes.
And or keeping you the rest of your board alone as well.
Yes.
Oh, it's hard to like. I do know how good the fish is though, and like the more we think about it, the harder it seems to justify cutting the fish for like a lost vacuum, right?
Yes,
or like Echo Horn.
Because fish is guaranteed for my when I go second.
Yeah.
When I go second, fish is so good. Right?
So it is true. It helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't really want to cut the fish.
And also, if you got Rosang or you got Marnie, the fish is so helpful. Yeah.
It's definitely like a very tight list. You have a lot of energies though. Maybe you could afford to cut one of the basic energies somehow.
Talking about cut one basic energy, I think it's totally affordable. But I personally play 12 because everyone knows that you need 8 for Kyogre. So you can price and lost it by 4. And also I play these many because I play Zamazenta and I have Kyogre, Zamazenta, and Greninja, and they are very, very. I mean, the
expensive.
color is so sticked. So I play that many, but you totally make the point, which is it actually could be less, but I just didn't do it.
It's definitely like this is the comfort number though, right? Like
yeah, it's very comfort to have that many because as long as I don't get very crazy pricing, it's very, very affordable to lose 1 or 2 in the early game. Yeah, and for the one capture energy, how do you think about this slot? Because I've seen so many people they put 1 in Lost Zone deck, but I don't know if it's worth it.
I mean, maybe you can get away without it. It's kind of like the 5th quick ball in some way, right?
Yeah. Except for Lumineon.
Yes, exactly. You have like we're talking about like your typings, right? Like being so heavy. Maybe that's like a reasoning. Maybe capture energy could be the energy that you cut, because most of the turns, like you have some windows though, right? But most of the turns, if you want to attack with Samacenta or Kyogre or Greninja, then you need to attach a specific typing, right?
Yes, that's one big problem.
So, like, if you attack with Cramorant, you're free to attach the Capture Energy for turn, for example.
Yeah,
That is fine. Or like turn 1, you can attach Capture Energy to Comfy and retreat into another Comfy.
yeah, it definitely helped my opening hand, but I'm not so sure if it's worth it.
Yeah. Looking at it again, maybe Capture Energy has to be the one. Like, either at this point you need to cut either a consistency card or a power level card, right? Like a tech.
Yes.
So maybe Capture Energy could be the one. Capture Energy is a really good card. It's an energy and it's a
Nestball.
basic search out. Yeah, it's a really great card as well.
Yeah, I know.
But
That's why I have this card in my deck. But I mean, like you said, I always need the manual typing.
Yeah, you do. For like a lot of your main attackers do, right? So that will definitely limit some of the turns that you can play Capture Energy. So it doesn't work on all turns at the very least.
Yeah. The prototype of this deck is playing one Hyperball.
Oh yeah, well, Ultra Ball.
Oh yeah, Ultra Ball. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's
instead of the capture then.
Yes, but but that prototype is playing the Zapdos.
That makes sense.
So I think this deck cannot play the Ultra Ball because you don't have that much space to cut. I mean, when I mean your hand, you don't have that much dead cards.
Yeah, we don't have anything to discard, right? That's like the main issue in like Lost Box decks as well, right? Every time you have to play down even Quick Ball, right? It's so painful.
Yeah.
Everything you discard like is very, very hard.
Yes.
So like Ultra Ball discarding 2 cards is often like way too expensive, I think.
Yeah.
So like if anything, like Quick Ball has to be like it's even expensive, but you can't like add Ultra Ball on top of that, I think.
Yeah. But Ultra Ball also has some advantage, which is the first is your Greninja die very, very early, and you don't have sufficient way to discard your energy into discard pile to recycle it back for your Kyogre.
Okay, sure.
That's one reason I found. And another one is you prepare for upcoming Roseanne or Marnie. You just caught the crabs in the very late game.
That's true.
Yeah, but I don't think I will put Hyper Ball back. The Ultra Ball back. So maybe under our discussion, the card to cut is Capture.
I think so. It seems to be like the least important, even though it's a really good card in here as well, though, right?
Yeah, of course.
That might be the easiest cut, honestly. If we want to keep like the rest of the strategy going here.
Yeah.
So then the question is like, which card do we want to add? Is it the Vacuum or is it the Echo Horn?
I think I will choose Vacuum.
Yeah.
Because the second horn is not as valuable as the first horn.
That is also true, though. That's a good argument.
Yeah.
And the first Vacuum has a lot more value than no Vacuum, right? So.
Yes. So it's because the diminishing return of those tag cards.
Exactly.
Yeah. And also putting 2 horns means first I can afford to lose 1. And the second is I can get it early. I mean, that's the main reason I want to play 2, right?
Yeah.
But for
like better access to it, right?
For Duraludon, I don't think I need that early to get my horn. It usually just be a dead card.
Yeah, like you need it at some point, right? Like later.
Yes. and you probably need to combine it with your boss's order. So I think I will choose Lost Vacuum.
Yeah, that seems like a fair card as well.
Yeah.
Do you ever want to consider like a disruption card though? Like instead, like playing the Roxanne or a Marnie?
Disruption?
Yeah, like Roxanne, Roseanne.
Roseanne is playing that card in this deck is very, very painful. Although I can definitely know why. I could probably need one, but it's so painful. You can also understand why I say it's so painful.
No, do you elaborate? What makes it really painful?
First of all, because of the Zamazenta, this deck play very, very aggressive compared to traditional Kyogre. So I will exhaust tons of resources in the early game. And also because of the Luminion, I will have less chorus. I mean, in the exception value, I mean the exception number, chorus is less after I Roseanne. I mean, it will make. I mean, I will often get bricked after I play a Roseanne.
But you get so many cards though, right? You get like 6 cards, you know, and you have the comfies and.
Yep, of course, but I mean that will require me a fairly high level play.
It's alright though. I was just like a consideration.
Yeah, of course,
but,
it is a good card, and it's a game winning card. Let me think. I mean, I personally kind of agree the Roseanne, but I'm just trying to find a reason why not.
Oh yeah, sure.
Maybe because our number one enemy, Lugia, doesn't really care about Roseanne at all.
Yeah. It's much better against like single price stuff, right? So like Lost Box, for example.
Yeah,
like mirrors.
Yeah, it's not really useful against Duraludon as well.
I guess. I mean, you can deny them their healing cards, right? Like if you hit them for 220, and
true.
And they can miss the hyper potions and stuff.
Yeah, true.
Against Lugia, I guess like you have the argument if they miss the Manaphy after your Roxanne, you can then win with Kyogre, right?
Probably.
But it's obviously not a foolproof strategy, and they have a lot of cards that search as basics, right?
Yeah, 4 Quick Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, and 3 to 4 captures.
Yes, and the Manaphy itself, right? So
yes, but I think Roseanne is a very interesting addition if we decide to put it.
Yeah, like would it be better than the Vacuum is the question, right? But maybe not. Vacuum will have a lot of value as well, though, and like it fits your like Lost Zone strategy better as well.
Yes, but let's say. So, do you think there's no second card to cut?
Oh yeah, if you wanted like another spot.
But I really think it's so tight.
It is.
The switching cards are 9. I think it's very, very minimum.
Yeah, you have 4 to 2 and then the 1 balloon. It's probably like the minimum you can play, yes. Honestly. Like in in like a Sableye version, right? Like anything with Sableye focus shouldn't be playing less than this, I think.
Yeah, it's very, very tight. The switching cards, I even try to add more. I mean, into 10, but I just cannot find the space.
Yeah, like if you want to do that, then you need to cut the other options, right? And like you probably need to cut the Echo Horn, for example. Maybe you need to cut the Heavy Ball and just pray that the Kyogre is in the deck and not in prices. And,
It's just too risky.
Yeah, it can be scary for sure. I know I played like this Lost Box with Charizard, and I was like, it's fine. Charizard is never priced, right? It's okay. But it can be scary sometimes. So you price it one time too many, and you want to add the Heavy Ball.
Yeah, and also Kyogre always play with 4 or more pricing card when you need Kyogre. So
that's true. While Charizard can often get like maybe 3 or 2, right? So it's easier to find that guy in time.
Yeah, the probability is totally different.
Yeah, it's definitely much harder. Or like much easier to find the Charizard than the Kyogre from prices there. So I think I agree there, and kind of need a Heavy Ball. Heavy Ball is not a bad card in general for the deck either, though. Like it usually has some value.
Yeah, because I have 15 Pokemon, so
and they're all basic. So
yes, so that's nice. I almost guarantee to find one Pokemon, even though it's not that useful, but still better than nothing.
Yeah, it usually hits a target at the very least, right? The Heavy Ball, so it's just like a hard card to cut. If you can't touch the switching cards, touching Quick Ball or VIP Pass also seems kind of silly. So you can't do that either. I guess like you could make an argument to cut a Quick Ball over the Capture Energy, but I don't know, probably not, because Quick Ball can also find the Luminion, right? So
yeah, and I think Quick Ball is still better option because I sometimes need to attach my own energy.
Yeah, agree. So probably has to be the Capture. No, I don't know. I don't think I would cut another card.
Yeah, remaining cards are so important.
They are really strong.
I even considered to put Raihan, just one. Yeah, because Raihan can make so many things different, especially Zamazenta.
It's true.
Because you Raihan, Zamazenta, and into getting a Mirage Gate is just autocomplete. But I think
true, and then
Roseanne is better because Raihan is just making what I could do easier, but not making new possibilities.
That is true. Yeah, I mean the Roxanne is good, like just having hand disruption. But with that said, though, like playing close deck list, it makes it way with not having these type of cards. But say if your opponent knows, right? If your opponent knows that you can't touch their hand, they can play much more greedy, right?
Yeah, greedy, aggressive, and just goes all in.
Exactly. Without like, they always know that they get to keep their hand. They can just keep everything, right? They never have to bench anything, and they can.
They can also predict their next turn's requirement, their plan. They can. They can just do whatever they want.
Yes, they could. So I don't know. It's fine as long as they don't know, right? Then you get away with it. But if you are afraid of people figuring it out, then it's nice to have like one option, but probably not needed in this type of event, though, right? So many players.
Yes.
And best of one as well. So
yes. So I think putting one Roseanne is very good. I think this is a very good addition.
Yeah, like you never really consider it though. I don't think I would cut any other card though. So in the end there, you have to choose between like vacuum and Roxanne as like your final options.
Yes.
You can try both and see which one you like the most, though. Which one comes up the most.
I think Roseanne will do much more than vacuum because, like I said, most of time I can totally living with their stadium.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm fine with it. Even though sometimes it's bad, but not destructive.
Mhm.
And for Big Parasol, I still have ropes. And I still have other attackers, so it's still fine, I guess, because I'm not Sable Eye Charizard that relies on Sable Eyes that much. So I think Roseanne, I will say captured into Roseanne is my temporary answer.
Yeah, that seems pretty fair to me. You're also very low on supporters, though, right? Like you're very thin on them.
Yeah.
So like another supporter in general would be like kind of nice for the deck just to have more to do, right, for your supporter turns.
Yes, and also the reason I choose Roseanne over Lost Vacuum is because I have fish.
Yes, you can search it. You can't search the vacuum properly.
Search the Roseanne. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so some final questions because we
Yes, of
are
course.
almost into our session. One stupid but very important question is: would you go first or second in this meta?
So you have to do this blind, right? That's the thing. Like you don't know what your opponent is playing, correct?
Yes.
I
have no idea about my opponent. I have to choose before everything starts.
Exactly. So it's a little bit problematic. So the thing is, if you're up against any sort of lost zone engine, right?
Yeah, you will go second.
You want to go second, right? That's better. If you are not up against any lost zone engine, you want to go first. If you also find VIP pass, so you can set up properly, right?
Yeah.
But you don't know if you have VIP pass in hand or if you have a colorless in hand to find your VIP pass again, right?
Yeah.
So, like if you go first, it's a better decision if you find the VIP passes, and if you go right. So at least like you have the Luminion if you go second to kind of ensure that you have the colors.
Yeah.
So going second for you will be the safer option, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't mind, or like you don't care that much about going second, but you do care about going first if your hand is weak again, or if you're up against Lost Box.
Yes.
So if you want to play it really safe, I think you go second, but say if you're up against Lugia, right? Then you do want to go first again. But it is kind of close. I don't think you care too much about going second in most matchups, though. So
yes, but I mean, I eventually need a decision.
Yes.
And in my personal understanding and my personal calculation experiences, the expected value between choosing first and second overall is really, really close.
It is. That's kind of like what I want to come to a conclusion with here as well, which means that like it doesn't actually matter that much. Is the thing. So I think from like from my gut feeling, I would just go first if I win the flip. And if you're up against Lost Box, you try to bench something heavy immediately. So try to bench Greninja and Samacenta, for example, to block the Cramorant. So it's not that much of a disadvantage going first, like if they get the first attack. And if you're up against other things, then Then you made the right decision already by going first. So you can get like a couple more cards in the Lost Zone with the comfies like already.
Yes.
Um,
I think going first has multiple advantages. The first one is you barely able to afford getting a turn to Stoutland.
yes.
If you going second, it's very, very, very stressful.
Mm-hmm.
You almost deciding if you are able to win on your second turn when you go second, and it's very, very difficult.
Yes, that is true. That can be like super scary. Then you have that one extra turn to do it on, right? So
yeah. So that's one reason, and the second reason is since I don't really care about going first or second, but most of people they care, so I block their going first.
yes, that is also true. Like they want to go first, right? But now you go first. So
I mean, if I don't care about how my opponent feels, I will choose going second just because it's a better, smoother about my engine. But choosing first can avoid my opponent going nuts. And my deck playing, I going first is not that bad overall. Unless I get very bricked.
Yes.
But if, this is my own opinion, is if I go very, very bricked, then I will not, under my definition, very bricked means I cannot chorus on second turn.
Yeah, that's pretty brick, yeah.
And
for sure.
Under that circumstance, going first or second doesn't matter at all.
That's also true because then you probably lose anyway, right?
Yes. So I think the only problem, the only bad thing could happen when I choose first is I have chorus in my hand, but I have no VIP pass.
Exactly. That's the main thing I'm thinking about as well.
Yeah,
like
but
you don't have VIP pass, but you only have chorus to get it.
Yeah, but if I play that chorus, I could see my VIP.
Exactly.
That's probably one reason, one scenario I can come up with, but that's not that much. The percentage wise.
Yeah, like percentage wise, it's still fine, right? And
yes,
like you going first, and like if you get access to a couple comfies, right, then that might still be better even then, like even if you should miss the VIP pass, right?
Yes.
So it should in general be okay, and you also have the Greninja engine to kind of lean on as well with your heavy energy count. So
yes, so I think going first is overall my answer.
Yeah, I think so. It is close though, definitely close. But I think like if you win the flip in the tournament, just go first.
Yes.
And then take it from there.
That's also one reason I play this deck, because so many people, they feel so stressful that they never win the flip.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good argument as well.
Yeah, and bringing this deck into tournament made me so happy because I never feel stressful about the flip. And when I toast the flip, my opponent seems, I really need to get my head. But to be honest, I don't care. Yeah. And they can make my emotion more happier. Yeah, happier. Yeah. So one question about, this deck has a very cool disadvantage is if I go first, on the second turn, I don't know what should I attack with. Because this deck has a very weird lineup of attackers. Zamazenta doesn't do much. And Greninja probably do something, but sometimes it doesn't do anything. And I am not enough to use Sableye, so I probably still Cramorant.
That is true. Do you feel like a turn to Cramorant going first is too weak of an attack? Like you wish you had something like more powerful to attack with?
I hope I have something like Raikou V at that specific moment, but I think still better not to have a very weak HP 2-prizer.
Yeah. No, I still think the turn to Cramorant attack is fine.
Yeah.
Like continue building your loss zone, right, to get your first attack. It's like you just pretend you went second, but had like a really good start, and then got the Cramorant attack.
Yeah. I just want to point out the fact that this deck, even if you are going nuts, your second turn is still very normal.
Yeah, true.
You cannot snowball on your second turn.
That's fair. But it's hard to like turn because you don't really need it, right? In that regard. And like your big power plays, they happen later, right?
Yeah.
They're just like your snowball is like the end game sweep instead.
Yes.
It's not the turn to KO your opponent's only attacker kind of sweep.
Yes. So this is the nature of this deck, but I sometimes still think very let's say I feel a little bit sad when my opponent has only one Lugia in play, they go second, on my second turn I cannot do anything. I mean,
you can't really punish them for a weak start, right?
Yes, exactly.
You don't have the damage output needed. Yeah.
I
know what you mean, though.
I actually lost several games. They play a very slow start, but one turn later they come back, and I lost because I could not punish them on my second turn. Yeah, when I used to play Zapdos, I totally can wreck them, but right now because the Zamazenta requires the knockout, so I have nothing to do. Very, very sad. Okay.
I mean that is true though.
Okay, so finally, I wanna share with you some alternatives.
All right.
And just simply asking about how your how is your gut feeling about these alternative decks.
All right, let's take a look.
Yeah, okay. The first one is actually by one of the best Taiwanese player who because he knows I play a lot Kyogre, and he asked about my deck list, and he thinks double Zamazenta is a very, very good strategy. But later on, he thinks when you play against Lugia, and if you have double Zamazenta in your deck, you don't really need to launch your Kyogre at that game. I mean,
I see.
Yeah, so this is his answer or tweak from my deck. I mean, even though there's no Kyogre, but I guess you could see the similarity between these two decks.
Yes. So there's no Recycler because there's no Kyogre, of course.
Yes. because they belong to the same set.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
he removes all the kits from of Kyogres and slot one Raikou, because the reason I said earlier that you have no way to punish your opponents going second but weak board. So Raikou is a good start.
That's true. Raikou is strong for if your opponent is just not doing anything.
Yes, and also this horn doesn't exist. I misclick. This horn
Okay.
is not here, and there is a what's that? The one kills Mew VMAX.
Regigigas?
No.
Drapion?
Yeah. Drapion V. Yeah, this one is Drapion V.
All right. That's fair. Okay. I mean, this also looks pretty fine though. Instead of the Kyogre late game, you have the Raikou early game instead, right? So
yeah, so
it's kind of like the trade-off here.
He say, basically, you just remove your final shot with Kyogre in your plan, and add Raikou into the early game.
Yes, exactly.
So this deck requires faster lost zone accumulation. Under my testing,
Yes, exactly.
You really need to achieve 7.
Yeah, you need to get
or
7
you
really
lose the
fast.
game.
Yes. It's a little bit more like glass cannon all in, I think. I still think like I prefer the late game push of Kyogre over the Raikou though.
Yeah.
And the Lugialis are also like a little bit more prepared for Raikou than they are for Kyogre in most cases. But
yeah, of course.
It's I don't know, it's still a pretty good take on the deck, I think. I do like it. I guess like one of the things I like the most is like having more supporters. But like after we added the Roxanne, then it's pretty similar now anyway.
Yeah, and
but it is very similar here.
Yes, and because they play Raikou, so they need the core. They need the Raihan more because their energy is so messed up.
Yeah, that's also true. The energies are also more unclean, right? It's a bigger split there.
Yes.
And you also can't use the Greninja actually, which that's also like an argument actually. I do like that Greninja as an attacking option.
Yeah, of course. So another alternative is actually from Limitless. From the Zeklasage late night. This one. I guess you saw it.
Oh yeah, I think I saw this. I didn't remember the deck actually had Kyogre though. I just remember the Rayquaza. I guess it had Kyogre too.
This ended up sixth place. And I personally think it's very interesting.
Yeah, this also is like at least on paper a really powerful list as well, right?
Yeah, but it's not stable at all.
My biggest problem with Rayquaza is like Rayquaza is so good, right? It's like probably on paper it's like the best deck because it's a single price, one shot everything, super good, right?
Yeah.
But you start playing it and you see how extremely resource heavy it is, and it's also very very weak to hand disruption. Because you're taking these big chaos and then you go into Roxanne range immediately, which is scary.
Yeah.
And you also have to discard all your energies, which is a little bit of a problem because then your opponent has time to like knock out other Pokemon than Rayquaza as well.
Yeah. The problem with this deck is this requires even higher skill.
Yeah, it's also very difficult to play as well. That's also a thing. And like look at your energy lineup. You have to be like very careful all the time about all your energies.
Yeah, when people talking about playing Lost Box, they say, okay, flower selecting is difficult. But under this list,
true.
I think hidden cards is much more difficult than flower selecting.
Oh yeah. That's true.
Both
of them are very
what
hard.
energy to pitch is almost like the very difficult. Yeah. So my conclusion for this deck list is first, because they have no Zamazenta. So they have no way other than Rayquaza to deal big damage.
Yeah, they only have that one to deal with Stoutland again.
Yeah. So they either has to play Snorlax plus Belt, which is very difficult to pull off, or they play Raikou and give up another 2 prize.
Yes, exactly.
Yes. So I think that's the reason why he played this. But the reason I wanna mention about this deck is because I'm so envious about how this deck can take out Duraludon VMAX so easily.
Oh yeah, that is true though. It definitely has like a way easier time dealing with Duraludon. That's a good argument.
Yes. Because I actually feel very a little bit post-trauma symptom when I play against Duraludon. So when I see this list, my gut feeling is, okay, this deck can easily beat Duraludon. But
I mean, it is true though.
yeah, but this is so difficult to play.
Yeah, that is very true. The energy lineup is very hard here. You see, that's like it's basically the same amount of energy as you run, right? Like 11 basic here. But it's much thinner. It's much more spread out.
Yeah. You have to calculate it very, very precisely, and also a little bit of luck.
Yes, exactly. It's definitely a lot of things that can go wrong with the energies here. Like you can have some awkward colors, some awkward comfies, awkward prices, and suddenly things can be very, very awkward for Rayquaza to attack.
Yes. So that's, I mean, I tried it on PTCGO, but I think because I'm going to play in a real tournament, I have to play 11 best of 1. So even if I know how to play this deck, I think it will be very, very painful for myself.
Yes.
I have to endure a whole day tournament and always counting where is my psychic energy, where is my lightning energy, where is my grass energy for 8 hours, 10 hours. It's very, very hard.
Yeah, like talking about like gut feeling. I think this is not it. Like it's a good deck, but I don't think my stomach says that you should play this one.
Yeah,
I think you should stick with the one you have.
Yeah, so
it's going to be easier to play, and also you have tested it way more, so
Yeah.
you know all your matchups, right? That's a big
Yes.
factor as well.
So the reason why I only slightly discuss these 2 decks with you is because I think this is the one I am familiar with. So I should definitely play this. But
I think
I still wondering how you feel about these 2. So that's why I only take maybe 10 minutes talking about these. So
yeah, that's fair.
yeah.
I said it, but like I'm missing the water energies from the Raikou version. I think that what you're gaining might just be lost a little bit there anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I do get it, but like the Kyogre Greninja has like better synergy because they share energy typing.
Yes.
And I think that is very strong, and it's kind of like a lost opportunity to miss out on the water energies there.
Yeah.
And the Rayquaza deck is also very strong. The one shot option is good, but it feels very weak to hand disruption, and like the strategy of like doing the one shots instead of setting up more of a checkmate situation with Kyger is I don't know, it probably feels stronger because like hand deception is a real thing in the format, right? Like you will get Roxanne and Marnie or judged or whatever.
Yes.
And those hit you way harder when like you do the smash strategy as well.
Yes.
Especially when you disarm your Rakas like completely as well. So yeah, I do like the like this version better, even with the flaws we pointed out in some matchups. It's like pros and cons with everything, right? But
yes.
I think I like the other one more.
Yeah, this one needs too much like your concentration, your play skill, your luck, and also I don't know. You just need too much things, and I think these two are more stable, are more are better to play in tournaments.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing as well. Like don't extremely difficult.
Yeah, and also one interesting thing when playing Kyogre, I think, is no matter how weak your opponent is, there's also a chance that you misplayed and you kill yourself.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
It's possible.
Yeah. So I need to play very carefully. I need to sleep well the night before tournament.
Of course. Make sure you're well rested, you're well hydrated, drink the water.
Yes.
Make sure you get some sort of nutrition throughout the day. I will recommend though, don't overdo it. So don't eat a lot. Just eat a little bit, like during the day.
I always eat nearly nothing. A little bit, really just a little bit. Maybe
just eat a little bit.
Maybe a sandwich. Yeah, for a whole day. And if I am very, very hungry, I just go to convenience store and buy a very tiny little bread. Yeah. So
just eat something, but not a lot. If you eat a lot, you get drowsy. Like
yes,
it's kind of sleepy.
Make you sleepy, and you don't know what you are doing.
Exactly. So find a good balance there, but at least drink a lot of water. That's important. Like stay hydrated throughout the day.
Yeah. Do you have any other suggestion or some final thoughts about my preparation, my deck, I don't know.
If you have any other like specific questions, like we can go over them. But I think in general you seem like very well prepared here. You've gone over like basically all the most common matchups, right? And you have a plan. You know where your deck's strengths are and your weaknesses are, right? And you play it against all your matchups, like, and you know how to play your deck, and you also like you made the deck yourself from scratch, and means that you know why all the cards are in the deck, which is like that's a really big factor as well. It's huge actually, compared to if you just like copy pasted the deck and just like started playing it, then it's very, very different because sometimes you don't even know why all the counts are the way they are, right? So
yes.
I think you're doing very well here. Like you're well prepared, and I can see this go well if you are like if you get a good night's sleep and you are like okay with your matchups. You can definitely have a great record here.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely, no problem. And yeah, just make sure you get like enough rest. I'm not sure how you guys do your deck list delivery. Do you deliver it online the day before or like the morning of?
It's just it sounds very stupid, but we write it on the paper.
Oh, really? You have paper list submissions? Okay,
like
cool.
20 years ago. I
remember we used to do that, but that is a lot of years ago. Yes.
Yeah, we hand it in when the first matchup starts. The judges will come to our desk and grab it.
Oh yeah. We used to do that. That was the thing. For that though, make sure that you you write it in advance, right? So say you already know your list like now, right? Or like the day before, two before. make sure you just write it so that there's less stress, like right before you start, right?
Yeah, of course.
So
I guess I can already print it out right now because the tournament is on Saturday, and I don't think I will make big change. Probably maybe only one slot that we discuss thoroughly, and like you said, this deck I really prepared. I almost considered about all the matchups, all the tech cards, all the singleton silver bullet that my opponent could have, and I think because I I just played this deck. I mean this game for 1 year. I lack of some read. I mean read on our on opponents, or I lack of some play skills. I used to play Shady Dealings.
Oh yeah, awesome.
I play IC Rider Carallax and Palkia until August, I guess. And after August, in Japan, in Taiwan, Lost Zone released, I started to play the Palkia Kyurem and also Lost Kyogre. Yes, and that's also one reason this time I ask you for coaching, is because I really do feel I prepared a lot, but I'm still I'm still worrying about I have some blind spot that I didn't ever think of. So as a feedback, today I think the most valuable part about this coaching is you remind me about Roseanne. That's one thing.
Sure.
I always know this is an option, but because putting Roseanne into this deck is very, very risky to me, because I need to prepare before I roll Roseanne, and I need to know what kind of cards I would or could get after Roseanne, and what kind of matchup it matters. I need to do a little bit more research. I need to do a little bit more practice, because it eventually make my endgame a little bit different than before.
That's true. It's true. A little bit, yeah.
Yes, so that's one thing I need to do more research later. And the second thing I think very helpful is when you look at my list, and because in Asia, not so many people play Kyogre, to be honest, because people think it's too difficult. They rather just play Lugia, Mew,
Smash, right?
Yeah,
like
Smash,
yeah.
draw cards, and use some very unreasonable abilities like Archeops, like Genesect.
That's very unreasonable for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
The power level is a little bit weird, to be honest. So I really don't have people to discuss with. Like I said, some of the best player in Taiwan, they even ask me about my opinions on Kyogre, because I am literally the best player who play Kyogre in Taiwan, because not so many people play it. So I need someone to give me confidence about my list. Yes. So when you say you think Luminion is good enough to stay, that's actually matter a lot to me, because I try to cut Luminion tons of time. I always think Luminion is a two-pricer, and when it started, it's so stupid, and some people they think blah 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 blah. You have Oranguru already. You don't really need it after Marnie. Blah blah blah. So I still think I need some confidence on my list because I don't copy from people. And some people, to be honest, some people they copied Azul GG's list and they use it in Taiwan. But my gut feeling is because we have Zamazenta, so you don't really need to play that list.
Yeah, exactly. Your meta is different, right? So like,
Yes.
Things would change if we had access to older cards, right?
Yeah,
of course.
The one card, the Zamazenta, actually matter very much.
It does.
In this deck. So I think Reklev is not the answer. So I need someone to help me to examine this concept or just for my mental reason.
I mean, I'm happy I could help. I can definitely like stand behind this list and these decisions with them. Like you should be like a little confidence can go a long way, right? So,
yes, of course, because this deck is so difficult. So, one good thing I recommend people playing this is sometimes when you play Lugia or Mew, you will not easy to spot your own mistake. Because
that's also true.
Mew, you just randomly draw the card you need and you just win. But maybe some decision you make is incorrect. But Kyogre is very difficult to win by accident.
Oh yeah, true.
Yes.
I mean,
so
you need to plan out the game.
So not just about winning, not just about the price, not just about the possible achievement you could have. Is I play Kyogre to feel happy about my own progression on the skill of PTCG. Yeah, that's also one reason I sustain to play this. Actually, Lugia is one of my favorite Pokemon, but I feel very angry right now because it's flooded. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for chatting with me these hours. It definitely helped. Yeah.
It was a ton of fun. Do you have anything else you want us to go over today, or else you can just feel free to message me at any time, and I will come back to you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you. I know you are quite busy because you just finished one regional. So when is your next regional?
My next one is not this weekend, but the next one.
Okay, so you have 1 weekend to have a break.
Yes, like kind of like I have some availability like next week as it is right now, like Wednesday and Thursday, maybe even on Monday. So if you want more time, I would like try to aim around there. The tournament is like, isn't it this weekend though, right?
Yes, it is. So this is like a very in time help for me.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Please update me on how it went afterwards. So like give me like a little update, regardless of how it goes.
Yeah.
Like,
and to be honest, every tournament I go, I always write down a very long record.
Okay.
I always like write down like my opening hand, my pricing, my opponents.
Oh wow!
What they attack on which turn. What supporter they played. I almost write down these. Yeah, if I could remember.
All right.
Yeah, and I have one friend who is also your big fan.
Awesome. That's really cool.
I guess he also reached out to you for coaching. Do you have?
Is it Ferdy Lee?
Yeah. Ferdy Lee.
I actually talked with him earlier today. Actually,
also coaching.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he played Lugia, and he just mocked you after your Latin America International Championships. Yeah.
Oh yeah. We talked about Lugia for him earlier today. Yeah.
Yeah. I also hope he can get a good result because he's also preparing the Sand tournament in this weekend. Yeah. He's very smart though.
Yeah, he seemed like a great guy for sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. I wish you both the best of luck, and I'm excited to hear how it all went down afterwards, and hope you have a ton of fun. And again, I think you're well prepared, and I hope you'll have a great time this weekend.
Yeah. Thank you. See you next time.
Absolutely, no problem. Message me if anything comes up, okay? And I'll see you then.
Okay. Bye bye.
Take care. Bye. Take care.
好，我们直播结束了，你们真的有跟着看吗？哦，快累死了！哦，我们讲了有够久蛮屌的，我觉得。他给了我非常多回馈，蛮好的。我的英文很烂啊，就现在这样有点累，所以有点卡词。不晓得你们有在看的人觉得我们聊的内容如何？觉得不错吗？我不知道。要我翻译，其实应该有点困难，因为这很长，没什么时间翻译，就还要准备大赛嘛。然后我现在手上还有几个片卡住没有发，对吧？好，先这样吧，我先下播，我去睡个觉，脑袋整理一下。好，大家晚安。